What is going on, everybody, and welcome on into episode 281 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on the OBR streaming network. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, X, wherever you might be watching us, Facebook tonight, welcome on in. We're excited to have you. If you're with us live, make sure you grab a beer. Make sure you jump in the comments, as we've got a lot of fun stuff that we want to talk about tonight. If you're not catching us live, if you're just at the beginning of this show, always remember, if you can't make it on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m., you can always head over to the YouTube or Twitch channels and catch it on demand. Or we are always out there on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, everywhere you get your podcast. So make sure you check things out there. Like I said, jump in the comments if you're live here tonight, though. Like our buddy Drew in Brick City, who is probably some Bush heavies into this evening and ready to go talking about sports and life and everything in between. Shout out to you, Drew. For joining us here tonight. With you as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. Joining me right now out in Seattle, Washington, Joey Whalen. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, Mike. Can you hear me? Hopefully.
Yeah, you sound great. You're not muted. It's an amazing feat.
Yeah, first time ever, hey? I'm doing good, man. I'm just had a beautiful vacation in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Had a lot of beach, a lot of chill time, refreshed, and the Cards are balling right now.
Well,
like what I mean, what more can you ask for?
Correct. You're damn right. We're going to lead things off with the Guardians tonight, because that right now is the story in Cleveland, is the push that they are making. And we'll kind of live react as this Guardians game goes, because again, with just about a dozen games left on the season, every single game matters, and they kind of have to win like probably 10 of them to get in. Certainly these games against the Tigers, if they want a shot at the division. Currently, the Guards are in Detroit. They are leading the Tigers 2-0 in the bottom of the seventh. One out, but the Tigers do have runners on first and second. So Eric Sabrowski was just up 0-2 on a hitter, and then he walked him, and that drives me absolutely crazy. But we'll live react to this as we go. And listen, if you don't see Chad on the screen and you miss him, A, I question your judgment. B, don't worry, he's going to be here in just a minute. Chad's daughter had a game tonight, and it ran a little late, so he is on his way here. He should be here very, very soon. And we'll get rolling with Chad. Joe, oh, wait, there he is. He's here. I'm going to wait until I see his face, and then I'm going to add him
into existence.
But I had a well, hold on, let's bring him in. It's Chad. Hey, Chad, welcome in, man.
Hey, how are you?
So good. How was the game?
Oh, just great. Just great.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it so good?
Yeah, so good. You know, just got the boy to bed, and now I'm here. Boys.
Yeah,
game was
it.
great. Hazel's struggling a little bit at the plate, but she's pitching, so she's doing real well at pitching. But
you fixins.
Tell we got some work to do, but it's coming around. Hey.
I had a little bit of an epiphany today, boys. I don't know how your guys' situation has been when it comes to like dental stuff.
Okay.
But you guys remember when I had my chipped tooth?
Right.
Well, I finally got it all finalized today. They put like a full-on veneer on my mouth.
Nice.
I realized something when I was with these lovely ladies at this dental office, which is new to me. Joe, it's your family dentist, Dr. Schwartz. Shout out to Dr. Schwartz's office here in Avon. My whole life, guys, my uncle was my dentist. My whole life. I never went to another dentist until literally the end of last year when I switched over to Dr. Schwartz, because my uncle retired. And I've realized that like my uncle ran basically like an old school torture chamber of a dental office. And my experiences, I don't know if anybody else has done this. My experiences at like a new like dentist that kind of does things like modern ways is such a difference. And I've realized it. And my uncle's dental, his practice, it was like all the metal tools, and they just like grind your mouth. And if I needed, like I had a root canal several years ago. It was just like, hey, this is kind of going to suck, but grin and bear it. And you just did. You just did. You just
awesome.
You got through it, and you grin and bear it. Yeah, there you go, Guardians. Gleyber Torres grounds out. That ends the seventh inning.
Right.
Guardians 6 outs away from a win tonight. This is all to say I go to this new dentist, Well, they're not new, but new to me. And like every 3 minutes, they're like, Is this okay? Is this bothering you? Are you okay? Are you feeling sensitive to this? If you're feeling sensitive to this, we can help you. Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I was like, my uncle would be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna extract this tooth, so this is gonna suck, I guess." Like from medieval times. And now they're like, "Well, we can numb this area and we can," and I'm like, I've never felt so good leaving a dentist before in my whole life. I felt like I got a massage.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. And
What?
it's really fun to talk after too.
Whoa. Whoa.
No, I didn't. So a couple times tonight they were like, not a Deshaun massage. Not a
No.
Deshaun massage.
Hey, listen,
No,
you were in a room with closed doors. You had a massage.
No, it's a
I don't know,
open
Mike.
atmosphere. There's no closed doors. No closed doors.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in front of everybody. That's even
It's
hotter.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Chad's like, can I come to your next dentist appointment?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yes, you can, Chad. Yes, you can.
They sell tickets.
Hell yeah.
They had to like take the temporary one off and put the new one on, and so I had like they had to like nub down my tooth to put the veneer on, and so like all the nerves are exposed, and they're like, are you sure you don't want the anesthesia? Are you sure? I was like, just put the other tooth on. Let's go. And so they were like drilling it and filing it down, and the one lady was like, I think I might pass out, and I was like, this isn't that bad. I guess you guys have never been to like the old school dentist. This was great.
Oh, you would, you pussy.
No,
You would,
they
you
have.
pussy.
That's the reason they're asking. They're like, why are you putting yourself through this?
I was like, this is what the dentist is supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to be comfortable. Anyways, I do want to give a shout out. They fixed my tooth and they made me look my normal kind of ugly again, and I appreciate them for that. So
you know a good way to christen a new
Schwartz.
tooth?
To chip it again?
Beer.
Hello,
Yes.
Chef Brian K.
That's a really good transition into our first segment of the week. It's our Garage Beers of the week, where we're going to go around and tell you what we're drinking, and I'll lead us off on this one. Collision Bend Brewing, a really great brewery downtown that I'm never at because I kind of try to avoid the flats.
Oh, it's a good spot.
And I know there's jokes about like lately the flats have been kind of
Flat.
deadly almost, but I still just don't like going down to the flats. But I do like Collision Bend. It's a fun brewery right on the river, and I grabbed their Fredtoberfest beer. That's the can, Fredtoberfest from Collision Bend, and it's just your standard, German style Oktoberfest beer, and it's great. It's very flavorful, malty, delicious. Not my usual IPA. But I love the Oktoberfest. I love the fall beers. We're probably just 1 or 2 weeks away from me going full pumpkin now. So get ready for that, boys. But
You're always full pumpkin.
Collision Bend, Fredtoberfest. That's mine. Chad, what's your beer tonight?
Well, boys, this is the third of the main beers in the 4-pack, the mixed 4-pack that I got.
Oh, yeah.
And this is from Bastion River Brewing Company in Wells, Maine. And this is Acadian Skies Dark Lager. I don't know if you can.
Ooh.
Yeah, Acadian Skies. Yeah, and they make it sound real sexy too. Like, listen to this. Something special happens when night falls in Maine. Acadian Skies Dark Lager reveals that decadent world swirling with notes of roast coffee and dark chocolate, wrapped up in a clean finish.
Yes.
And Mike, this is your Gene Creamin' time. Is right up your alley.
Oh, look at it.
It's delicious. It's delicious. It's delicious. It's not bitter by any means. It's a nice dark lager, just with very nice hints of the coffee and the chocolate. So it's good. It's good.
All right. Love that one. Main beers. Joe, wrap it up. Garage beer of the week.
Hoping to get the foam down so I can actually taste this thing. But as we have playoff races
there it is.
on two fronts, I got a little, how do I say this? Jandy Ronson from No Boat Brewing Company.
Sure.
It's a Randy Johnson beer. It's a triple hopped double IPA.
Oh, wow.
Bam.
That sounds delicious.
It's so good.
I'm a little mad at you for drinking any kind of Mariners themed.
It doesn't matter.
Beer.
They don't impact us right now.
Yeah, they do impact us because
No,
if the Astros get hot, we want the Mariners to get like one of those teams got to lose.
No, you want the Mariners to go into Houston this weekend, sweep out.
Well, that's fair, but like they're still in the way. They're only not in the way if they guaranteed win the West, and right now
we'll get into this. We're not getting a wild card spot, boys. We're not getting a wild card spot.
I disagree. All right, so you got the Jandy Ronson, which I think is a great name for a beer. And how is that, by the way?
It's delicious. I would drink.
It looks
20
great.
I would be on the floor, but I would drink 20 of them.
You'd be dead. Chef Brian K. Busch Light, $12 for an 18-pack. Bam!
Let's go.
Hey,
let's go.
Guys.
What a deal.
That's why we love you guys. Look, Drew's must be done with his Busch Heavies. Now he's doing 50 West Amber Ale. That's his. The fact that you guys come on and drink Wednesday beers with us every Wednesday is just one of my very favorite things. So those are our garage beers of the weekend. Some of yours, keep putting yours in the comments if you're drinking with us. And now it's time for us to dive into episode 281 of the Garage Beers podcast. And we're going to kick things off with the Cleveland Guardians. What, Chad? What?
Can I bring up something? Because like I would have brought this up in the intro, but I got to bring it up now because it's really grinding my gears. Mike, it's not Cleveland related, but Mike, can you please call the Warriors and tell them to figure the fuck out this Jordan Kuminga situation? Like, I'm really so sick of getting like the same 5 alerts every couple of weeks, and like of them offering the same contract. Like, figure it out, right?
You know what's
annoying my alert timeline.
You know what's funny is I'm an NBA guy. I love the NBA. I love watch the Cavs. I love the Cavs. I love NBA basketball. But I'm with you, Chad. I was about to say like, who gives a shit about it? But you're right. My phone blows up like once a day with like Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga is still unable to figure out like, and I'm like, who cares?
And it's the same contract. They keep offering the same contract, but he's like, no. And that's it. That's all that happens.
But also like, I'm very much team Warriors on this.
Yeah.
Bro, you're Jonathan Kuminga. You've done nothing. But this is the epitome of what we have talked about on this show. If you play professional sports and you've like had 3 good games in your career, you're like, max it out, baby. Max contract on my next one. Right now, guys are either bad and they take like small deals, or everybody wants max contracts. It doesn't matter who, and it's every sport. Everybody wants to be in that max level contract. And it's like, this is not how this is supposed to work. Like, if I can come to you and be like, oh, hey, Jonathan Kuminga, here's 12 people at your position that I can guarantee are better than you. So we'll pay you the 13th higher amount on the contract list.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work. But it's between the agents and then just the teams that are willing to just be like, oh, yeah, we'll sign who gives a shit player.
Yeah.
Some guy like the contract that Orlando gave to Desmond Bane.
That's
like,
insane.
Desmond Bane is like a pretty good basketball player.
Yeah.
He should get paid like a pretty good basketball player. And instead, he gets this monster deal in Orlando. And it's like, what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah. Even guys who get 10 minutes a game are getting like 3 years, 50 million. Like, and that's like Jonathan Kuminga. Get it?
Jonathan Kuminga demands more. Oh, okay. All right, Johnny Cummings.
You know his nickname, right?
No, probably not. I've tried to avoid everything.
You Google it. You Google it if you don't know, and it's pretty hilarious. But I'm not going to say it on on the show.
Let's not say it. You can Google it too, and it's it's bad.
Joey's Googling it right now.
So am I. You know it's bad if Chad won't say it on the show. Well, listen, we're gonna get a little dead air here because I gotta look and see what it is.
It's a bucket.
Oh no! Oh, you could have said this.
Could I have? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just figured I'd play it safe there. But
his name is Jonathan Kuminga, and his nickname is the Cum Bucket. I mean, I guess it makes sense. KUM is the first 3 letters of his last name, and a bucket, right? Basketball. He's a bucket.
Yes.
I don't know if he's approved. I don't know if he approved of that nickname or not. But wow, I was expecting that to be much worse. funny. That's
I thought that was pretty gross, but all right.
It's not gross.
Not great.
It is
That
funny.
one for the kids. You're not going to wear that on Players Weekend. I know they don't have that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Here comes Mr. Smiles at shortstop, and then here comes the cum bucket.
Yeah, Johnny, you're running out with cum bucket over there. You see the guy that says cum bucket on the back?
Yeah. You go out. He'll sign your basketball. All right, boys. Let's get into the Cleveland Guardians, who again, right now they are 6 outs away from taking the first 2 games in Detroit. 5 games remaining against the Detroit Tigers. Here's where things stand for the Cleveland Guardians, and I want to look back about a month, because the Guardians have had a pretty wild second half of the season that started right before the All-Star break when they swept the Houston Astros. That's when things really got crazy. And they went on a tear right before the All-Star break, and then they just maintained a tear after the All-Star break. And they cut a 15-game Detroit Tigers lead down to, like, I don't remember what it was at the time, but it was like 5 games. It was like this. And then the Guardians slipped into a bit of a pit of despair. We had the Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz gambling scandals. We had young guys that were playing in the minors and not contributing up here, even though they should have been contributing up here the whole time when other guys weren't contributing up here. And then they started making moves, and God love him, but they get rid of Carlos Santana. They bring up CJ Kayfus and give him most of the minutes out there in right field, and then they're rotating him into first base too. Manzardo's an everyday player finally. Like, that had to be a question early in the season.
Right.
Angel Martinez has kind of made a home for himself in center field. And then you've got, Stephen Kwan struggling at the plate pretty much all year, hitting 273, which is a bad year for Stephen Kwan, but he's coming around a little bit lately. Yep. You've got some guys coming around, and all of a sudden, after a tough spell, they got things close with Detroit, and then they went on a tough spell, and they were again back down like 15 and a half games. And now they enter this last stretch of the season. And the last stretch of the season is 3 games in Detroit, 4 games in Minnesota against a Minnesota team that stinks, 3 games against Detroit and Cleveland, and then it wraps up with 3 games against the Rangers in Cleveland, another team that they are battling in the wild card race for. The Cleveland Guardians have gone 11-2 in their last 13 games. The Cleveland Guardians have cut that Detroit lead from 15 and a half games down to 5.5 games. They have cut off 10 games in that Detroit lead because Detroit's not playing great. They are 2.5 games behind Boston in the wild card. They're 3 games behind Houston in the wild card. And guys, let's talk about all the reasons this is happening. But on this 13-game stretch where they are 11-2, and tonight trying to become 12-2 in their last 14, I think we could talk about the young guys for a minute. We could talk about timely hitting for a minute. We could talk about just a little bit of liveliness that has been kind of like put into this team. But when you're talking about this stretch, guys, in their last 13 games, total games, the Cleveland Guardians have given up 15 runs. I'm sorry, 25 runs, not 15 runs. 25 runs in 13 games. Yeah. Less than 2 runs a game in that stretch over 13 games. Everybody for the Cleveland Guardians in the pitching rotation has decided to step up, including, like, Tanner Bybee's season felt lost a month ago.
Yeah.
Now he's out here throwing like complete games, and he's like dominant again. Yeah. And Gavin Williams, look what he did just tonight, shutting out the Tigers through his time. Like, you have to start with the pitching and the bullpen when you talk about this 13-game stretch.
It's weird that it's September 17th, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, is this a good team? Like, I don't know. Right. It's just the second half, like you said, Mike, it's just been so polarizing. Like, complete bottomed out in July and August, and unstoppable the past 3 weeks. Just a phenomenal effort. And I always talk about, like, this is the time to get, if you want to get hot, end of September is the perfect time to do it. Is there a mountain to climb? Yes. Is every other wild card team somehow on fire right now, except for the Red Sox, maybe? Yeah. But I think starting with the pitching staff, the biggest surprise to me, like Tanner Bybee going off and being dominant. It's not a surprise because that's what he should be doing. But Joey Cantillo, like
yes,
him coming back into this rotation and just being exactly what you need him to be. He, can give a couple runs, but he has been really rock solid to kind of fill those 4th and 5th starting position spots. And to carry us through. We're 9-1 in the past 10 games. Like this team is locked in right now. Bullpen wise, like Jacob Junis coming in at the 8th inning might not be something you've wanted early on in the season.
I was going to say they just brought him in, and I'm like,
it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah,
but he's been much better lately.
He has, but still.
Yeah. And then obviously you have Cade Smith stepping into a role probably a year early of what he should be doing, and obviously under really tense circumstances. And pitching the 9th is so much different than pitching the 8th inning. And all intents and purposes, he's done pretty well there.
It's making me feel. I wonder. We go to the bullpen, and I think about the future for a minute. I know you're always looking for the next closer, but I wonder if maybe we're just reading the situation with Cade Smith wrong. And I'm starting to wonder if I want Cade Smith to be that guy that you just put in anytime the other team's best hitters are up when you're in relief, right?
Yeah.
When it's the 7th inning and the other team's got 3, 4, 5 coming up, put Cade Smith, and you've got a 1-run lead, put Cade Smith in right there. Make Hunter Gaddis your closer, or go find another guy to be your closer, get another arm to be your closer. But the more I've watched Cade Smith in the closer role, and not in that role that he was so good at, which was just they might put him in the 6th, they might put him in the 8th, they might put him in the 7th, but that's where he was so good. It makes me think maybe they should be thinking a little differently than just traditional, we got to have him as the closer. He doesn't need to be that. And sometimes sometimes your best pitcher in your bullpen doesn't have to be your closer, AKA like Andrew Miller back in those years for the Guardians in 16 and 17. He wasn't the closer. He was the guy that got you the most important outs when they happened, though. And I would love to see them maybe go back to that and try to think of something else for a closer, especially if we're never going to see Emmanuel Clase again.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing you do right now.
But not now.
Absolutely for next season, I would love to explore that.
Yeah. The pitching's just unreal, though. It is unreal. Joe, you hit on it. Joey Cantillo. Again, Gavin Williams has been really good. Everybody, they've all been really good. You're getting big outs from Matt Festa.
Yeah.
Who got you no big outs pretty much all year. And now you're getting big outs by Matt Festa. Jacob Junis is in here trying to get through this 8th inning for the Cleveland Guardians. It's just that's the way they built this team, right? It's this. They are built to win games because of the pitching with an offensive complement, right? And so many parts of this year where the pitching didn't hold up, that's when you saw them just kind of take nosedives. Yeah. But I do think this, Joe, you made a comment I don't know, is this team, all of a sudden, is this a really good team? And I think it's fair to say they were really good. And now they are really good right now. And that period in the middle, that was a wild stretch. When Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz get busted for gambling, for cheating, for putting money on games and
potentially throwing pitches at games to, who knows if there's any other bets beside first pitch ball.
Right. That was the time that really sent them into a bit of a tailspin, and they've come out of it and they're good again. So I think it is fair. We're all trained to be don't make excuses, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's fair to say that probably messed them up a little bit when that whole situation happened. And then they were in scramble mode and they lost a bunch of games and they didn't play real well, but here they are playing well again. And I think maybe we do have a good baseball team here.
Yeah. It just, feels like they've gotten back to a guards ball type setup where they're pitching solid. Their offense is doing enough to get you by in games. They're getting not massive at times, but decent run support, enough to win. And it just kind of feels comfortable right now, which is weird and unsettling.
Yeah, I mean, it should be unsettling. I mean, it's, I mean,
not settled.
It's been the pitching. I mean, that's really been the story, right? I mean, the offense, again, it's been good enough, but when you're only giving up, what would you say, 23 runs in the last 13 games? It's all due to the pitching, right? It's all due to the pitching because the Guardians have only scored 2, 3, 4 runs in most of these wins. So it's, if the pitching starts to sag a little bit at all in this 13-game stretch, the Guardians are dead in the water. But the pitching being as steady and as good as it's been, that's they're the biggest reason the Guardians are here right now. Yes, and you get some timely hitting and you get a couple of runs in, and that's all you need when you guys are getting big outs from Matt Festa, like you said, or But obviously, in the ninth, Kate Smith doesn't make you feel good right now with how he is pitching, and I love that idea, Mike. Of moving him around, right, in 6th, 7th, 8th inning in high pressure situations that aren't a closing situation. I like that idea, but you can't go back on it now. But for outside of that, this staff deserves, I think, 90% of the credit for this stretch that they've been on.
And then, boys, I think as Jacob Junis comes in and strikes out Spencer Torkelson and gets Riley Green to line out to Nolan Jones to end the 8th inning. And so the Cleveland Guardians 3 outs away now, just 1 inning away as we go into the 9th. They're leading 2-0 over the Tigers, 3 outs away from taking the first 2 games of this series. I want to continue to talk about this series. I want to talk about the remaining games. And, Joe, I want to talk about the odds at the division versus the wild card and all that. I want to get to that, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't also, and I know I brought it up early, but things also changed dramatically for this team when they finally got off their asses and embraced the youth and embraced the guys that are down in the minors that were making noise. When they finally went down and got CJ Kafis and said, all right, you're going to play big minutes, big innings for us. When they've recently went down and got George Valera, and he's been good for them. When I know earlier in the year, they've really embraced Angel Martinez, and he's a big part of their lineup. When they're going well, he's going well. He's kind of an important cog in that lineup. But even to go back down and I hated having John Kenzie Noel in the minors. Like, just put if he's not really hitting well, put him on the bench, make him a part-time guy, make him a pinch hitter. But that guy can change a game with one swing of the bat. He's come up and hit much better in this stint than he did the last time he was up here. But just they kind of embraced that, and you could tell it brought an energy, guys, to this team when CJ Kafis is out there getting big hits, and now the other young guys in Manzardo and Martinez and Valera and Gabriel Arias is playing better again. Like, you could tell the energy just rose when they brought up some of the young guys. So you got to give a credit to the young guys that they brought up who have really infused life back into the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the biggest mystery of this front office and their timing for calling up players. Obviously, with the expanded roster, it's easier to bring some of these younger guys up and get them more involved in the day-to-day. But, yeah, you're missing that John Kenzie game-changing swing in games, or even just the threat of it. CJ Kafis is phenomenal, and I think I'm really excited to see him continue to develop. I don't know if he's like a day one starter next year, but I really like what he's contributed to the team so far. And, they just have an energy about them. Like, it's just you can tell, especially during the losing streaks, where it just, nothing's clicking. Like, it just doesn't feel like the guys are engaged with the game, but like these guys are out here fighting. I think they know what's at stake. They know the time window they have. They want to play October baseball. And the only way to do that is to win out as many games as you can right now, because it is a bit out of our hands as far as destiny here.
Yeah, I mean, I loved CJ Kafis. I love his approach at the plate. He's not a guy who's panicky. He's not a guy his swing isn't real clunky. It's nice and smooth.
Yes.
And he always seems to come up with a big hit, a timely hit, whether it's a home run the other night in the last night was when he hit the home run, right? Yeah, I think last night was when he hit the home run.
Yep.
Yeah, I love his approach at the plate. Yeah, and then John Kenzie coming back up. Yeah, the young guys, some of these young guys, and like Valera too. Valera started the scoring in tonight's game. So yeah, these young guys know how to hit. They're getting big hits, and you shouldn't wait. You should. This front office shouldn't be so hesitant to wait because you've got some good hitters in your minor leagues, right? I mean, Travis Bazan is going to be up here before we know it.
I mean, the way he's tearing it up down there, that you might see him at starting the year next year.
Yeah. So, hey, there's a base hit by Quan. So, yeah, obviously, embrace the youth, especially when they're doing well. Bring them up while they're on a hot streak, and you never know what's going to happen with your offense. Maybe your offense can match your pitching if you bring up the best hitters within your system.
You need people contributing now at this point of the season. You need people that are hot. Whoever has a hot hand gets in that lineup and, try to make something happen. And again, they're not putting up ridiculous numbers on offense. Obviously, I think we'd like to see a little more consistency throughout the lineup, but it is a very manageable effort that they're giving right now and enough clearly to win us games.
So, boys, let's talk about the pathway for the Cleveland Guardians. Again, if you look at the wild card, they're 2.5 games behind Boston, 3 games back of Houston. Again, if things sit the way they sit right now, Houston's beating Texas 4-2. That getting Texas out of the way is important because Texas is the next closest team with the Guardians. They've just kind of surpassed them. If things ended the way right now they are, it'll actually be Houston that goes back in first place at the top of that AL West, because right now Kansas City is beating Seattle 3-2 in the 7th. Houston is beating Texas 4-2 in the 5th. Boston and the whatever city they're from, Athletics, are tied 4-4 in the 8th. So we could be talking about those Mariners because, again, the Mariners are only up a half game on Houston, and Houston's winning and Seattle's losing tonight. So either way, the wild card is in striking distance. If we're talking about the Tigers, again, the Cleveland Guardians winning 2-0 tonight. If the Guardians are able to close this game out in the bottom of the 9th, they will pull within 4.5 games of the Tigers with 4 games remaining against the Tigers. But then you look at the schedule. The Guardians have 1 extra game to play. They're going to go for a four-game series in Minnesota. And then it's back home for the Tigers. And then the Guardians are going to finish with 3 against the Rangers. But if you look at the Tigers schedule, it's 4 more games against the Guardians, but it's also the Atlanta Braves and the Boston Red Sox. So the Tigers definitely have a tougher schedule as we lead to the end of this. So guys, start with the division. Let's say the Guardians pull this win off tonight. They pull within 4.5 games of the Tigers with 4 games left against them. In those 4 games, I've been trying to think about this all day of what I really think. How many of those games do they have to win to give themselves a real chance at the division?
All of them.
Yeah.
I think you have to win all of them. I think that is your controllable fate, is winning these games against teams in contention. You have to win them all against the Tigers. You have to win, hopefully, at least 2 against the Rangers. But, you cannot sit idle and expect the Tigers to go out and lose to the Braves, lose to the Red Sox, even though the Red Sox are in contention for a wild card spot and the Braves are not, but they're still a really good team. You can't expect them to go out and just lose those games. So while the Guardians have the easiest schedule, I think, in the division remaining, it has to be on these guys to just get ahead, get that lead. And why is Jose crouched over?
I don't know. Did he foul something off of himself?
I think he did. Off his foot again.
As he does. All right. So I think what you guys are talking about is what you want them to do. But I don't think they need to win every game against the Tigers to stay in contention for the division. Let's say they got 4 games left. Let's say they win 3 of the 4 games. Right? So now you're talking about you're a game and a half back at the end of that stretch. And you've got 4 against Minnesota, and you've got 3. I think if they come out of it a game and a half back, they're still in a really good spot, knowing the Tigers, 1, aren't playing well, and 2, have to play the Braves and the Red Sox. I think the Cleveland Guardians are still very much in a good spot if they come out of this 6-game series with the Tigers and they're a game and a half behind the Tigers through that. And again, we'll see what happens, in the middle series. The Guardians, that Twin series cannot be overlooked at how important that is. You have to go up and beat the shit out of the Twins.
Every game from here on out is important. Like there isn't a non-critical game the rest of the way.
But the Twin series, again, especially with the way the Twins are right now, the Twins season has been done. That is a team that is doing nothing. You have to go up there and kick the shit out of the Twins for 4 games. Well, You've got to. You cannot afford a letdown against a team that does not have anything to play for, but also they don't have anything to play for, and they don't feel like a team that's going to be dangerous either. Like how some teams get eliminated from playoff contention, but you're like, oh, they're going to be a pain in the ass. The Twins are not a pain in the ass. They're not anything. You have to go up there and win those games in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's interesting you say that because they've been putting up a hell of a fight against New York. They beat the Yankees 7-0 the first game.
Yeah.
They came back from a 10-1 deficit to lose 10-9 yesterday, and they are only down 7-5 today. They might be doing a little bit of spoilerism. Maybe the Yankees are just blowing it right now. But I agree. You have to go in there and just kick in the doors in Minneapolis and win hopefully all 4 of those games. I think the path to the playoffs, the best path to the playoffs for the Guardians is the division. As crazy as that sounds, there's just a lot of, and that's why this second couple weeks of the season is so fun. There is so many potential wild card matchups over the next 2 weeks that I just feel like it could just go one way or the other. You could have a couple teams absolutely dominate those matchups and get a huge lead in that wild card run, or they're just going to kind of falter, go 500 against each other, and then nothing really changes. But if we don't win our games, which would ultimately lead to a division title, it's not going to matter anyways. So that, for me, the focus is on the division title. I feel like the wild card is, oddly enough, the more unattainable option.
Well, I mean, and I think it's so fascinating too, because the rest of the way between the teams who are in the 3 wild card spots right now and the division leaders, there are so many interdivisional and wild card matchups like the rest of the way. There could be so much movement in these last few games. So it's must watch baseball just to pay attention, just to see how it goes.
So real quick, just to catch up, and then Joe, ask your question. Jose Ramirez just walked. So the Guardians have the bases loaded, 1 out in the top of the 9th. They have a chance with a big hit to bust this game open going into the bottom of the 9th. And I want to talk about tomorrow's game especially. But Joe, why don't you say what you were going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, how much more fun is it to watch baseball the last 2 weeks of the season when it's obviously nice if you have a 10-game lead on the division and you flip the spot, but it's playoff baseball in September here. It does not get any better than this. It extends the postseason. They make it in a wild card round and get bounced the first game. You still had 2 weeks of fun leading up to it. So every game right now is do or die. This is the playoffs right now, and that's fun baseball.
Yeah, listen, I'll expand upon that because this was the other point I wanted to make. This was going to be kind of my last point about the Guardians, but I think we can make it here because of what you just said. And man, we went through a period, guys, where because the Guardians were so on and off, and because they had their down spells, that people were starting to get a little pissed off at Stephen Vogt. I was starting to get a little pissed off at Stephen Vogt when he was playing guys instead of Kyle Manzardo, instead of some of these younger guys, and we were trotting out Carlos Santana every single day, and we were trotting out Nolan Jones every single day. And Nolan Jones he still can't hit, but man, he's put up some moments in this part of the season. But the Guardians, I think you have to tip your cap right now to Stephen Vogt. Last year, the manager of the year, the American League manager of the year, and what he has kind of led a Guardians team that went to the ALCS last year that was kind of self-sabotaged by kind of getting worse because they didn't get better from last year. They self-sabotaged a little bit. They go through the cluster that was the cheating or the gambling scandal and all that stuff. And yet Stephen Vogt and this Guardians team, and again, credit goes to the players for sure, guys, but you have to put Stephen Vogt and his coaching staff in as far as giving them credit for they've got this team in contention September 17th for a division title when a month ago they were 15 and a half games back. Like that's manager of the year type stuff out of Stephen Vogt.
Yeah, I agree with the frustrations, and we'll never know what happened in the months between June and August of behind the scenes and closed doors and how that was impacting the team's performance on the field. I would imagine quite a lot. I would imagine players were pulled into interviews with officials to talk about the situation. Like there's probably a lot that was going on behind the scenes with this and some discontent. And there is a clear turnaround with this team over the past couple of weeks. And, the players have come together. The coaching has come together. Like, you have to be grateful to have an organization like that push this team to where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, they were somehow galvanized, and I mean, they're playing loose, right? They're playing loose now. It seems like they're playing relaxed. I mean, it just a lot of nothing, no uptightness anymore. I mean, it just when these guys are having fun, they're a lot of fun to watch.
I was going to sit here and say, man, I can't believe our 185 hitting catchers hitting fifth in the lineup, but then Bo laces a double down the right field line to score 2.
Hell yeah, 4-0 Guardians. You're ahead of me.
Go.
Watching here, but 4-0 Guardians. What? But that's this is such a good example. Look at B Skrills in the comments. This is such a good example of why this Guardians team has been this good this late in the season. It's just the pitching has been spectacular, like it was tonight, and then somebody just steps up. It was Arias last night with that home run.
Crushed it.
It's Kafis, it's Martinez, it's Schneemann when he's playing. Some guy, it's Rocchio at times. It's some guy that just steps up and that is where you feel like you're watching the Guardians, right? Like that's where you feel like you're watching the Cleveland Guardians. So the Guardians up 4-0. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with the Guardians, tomorrow's game. I feel like tomorrow's game matters the most now. Because you went into Detroit and you did what you had to do, right? You took these first 2 games and you're going to be you're going to be 4.5 games back at the end of today, assuming they don't give this up to the Tigers in the bottom of the 9th. And now you got Tarek Skubal coming off an injury, his first start since he injured himself.
Yeah, not healthy.
Tanner Bybee red hot tomorrow. It's the Bybee Skubal matchup tomorrow. You got to get I feel like you could maybe come out and lose one of the games in Cleveland to Detroit as long as you win the other 2 and be okay. I think you got to get this win tomorrow against Detroit. I feel like just for the momentum of the season, going out, beating Tarek Skubal, making a statement on the road, sweeping the Tigers. I feel like to come out of this series after the way we're all going to feel tonight if they hang on and win this. They've picked up 2 games. They took the first 2 games of the series. I feel like mentally it is going to be a disaster if they come out and lose that game tomorrow and you only gained 1 game in this series.
1 big hit. That's all it's going to take with Skubal, right? With the way this team has been pitching lately, it's just going to take 1 big hit. Then hope to hell you shut them down the rest of the game. That's all it does. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs last year, right? Lane Thomas. It took 1 big hit. And then you were able to get by Tarek Skubal. So that's the recipe for me tomorrow. I am not expecting the Guardians to do well at all offensively tomorrow, but just get 1 big hit to get a run or 2 across, and then rely on your pitching.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like emotionally rattling if they lose tomorrow to Tarek Skubal, but if they can come out on top and make a statement win against the Tigers to sweep them, to beat their ace on the road, man, like that's got to get you feeling real good. Quick side note, I just noticed the beer bottle or can I have has a bunch of little birds on it for
Randy Johnson. Oh,
they should have a bunch of exploding birds on it.
Yeah, right. I will say this. I think the thing that has me most excited to wrap this up, guys, the thing that has me most excited about what's happening with the Guardians right now is that if they are able to get into the playoffs, whether it's a wild card or whether it's to win to win the division would be unbelievable. But even if it's a wild card, they're going in the hot team this year. Not to say they didn't last year because they ran away with the division last year, but they weren't like the hot team going into the playoffs last year. If they go into the playoffs having to scratch and claw their way into the playoffs and having to basically, they're pretty much in the playoffs right now as far as like, if you better win your games because if you lose enough, you're out. They're playing playoff baseball right now. So they're going to be prepared for that going into the playoffs. Like, that's the kind of stuff you see out of teams that you're like, a couple years ago, remember it was Arizona. How the hell did Arizona make it to the World Series? Oh, well, they were on fire going into the playoffs.
Right.
And they just continued it in the playoffs. If they have to scratch and claw their way and they finally make it into the playoffs, that's going to make me very excited for the prospects of what the Guardians can do as far as making noise and winning games in the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed.
Sure,
right, good.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
All right, we'll keep reacting. Again, the Guardians still up right now. I know Joey's a little ahead, but
they're good. Bottom of the ninth.
All right, bottom of the ninth. Arias did not get a hit, so Guardians scored 2 in the top of the ninth. 2 humongous insurance runs. Although I don't know how humongous they are. They are definitely through the hard part of the Tigers lineup. So here comes ready for the Tigers lineup in the bottom of the ninth. They'll probably pinch.
Don't say Karen Carpenter.
Dingler.
No. Dingler, Keith, and Perez.
Fletcher,
I don't know. Playoff roster to me, baby.
Fletcher finds Dingler like hilarious. He's like, I love that name, Dingler.
Dingler berries. Come on. That's almost as good as Cum Bucket.
Nowhere near.
All right, fine. All right, we'll react if the Guardians win, but let's go to our little middle part of the show here and let's do our asshole of the week, where we call somebody out for being an asshole. So I don't know who wants to go first. Who wants it?
Okay.
All right.
The airport. The airport's an asshole. Specifically security, and this is just everyone complains about going through TSA, but I haven't flown since April, and I go to take off my shoes at SeaTac, and they have the audacity to tell me to leave them on, and not super happy with me about taking them off. And I was like, I don't know the rules. It's like they think that's the way it's always been, and it's not. We just made this change. I forgot about not taking my shoes off, and then I almost left my belt on. I had to run back and grab another bin for the belt because I'm like, well, if the shoes are on, the belt can stay on. And the rules just don't make sense. And then certain airports you go to, you have to take everything out of all your laptops and stuff out of your bag. Other airports to leave them in. Why can't we just all have the same shit?
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about listening to you talk about this? And Chad, I think you'll be able to relate to this as somebody that's a little bit older, right? Is Joe, you probably don't remember times where you didn't have to take your shoes off at the airport. But it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
Not until 9/11 and then some guy tried to blow up a plane with his shoes.
Yeah.
That you had to take your shoes off at the airport. Right. Like, that's the funny thing, Joe, is like I remember where it wasn't like that. Now
you just went right through. You went through a metal detector and you went right through.
And
they have a new thing
at the airport.
They have a new thing at SeaTac. It's not the thing that whirls around you. It's like just 2 walls you walk behind. So it's great, another new way to get radiation pumped through my body.
10:25. We got a guy who's taking off his shoes, sir. Up against the wall. This will only take a minute.
I was at an airport in Oklahoma a couple years ago. I can't believe I probably didn't tell you guys this story, but I was at the airport in Oklahoma a couple years ago, and a work trip. Somebody, all of a sudden, there were like cops just swarming the airport, and somebody, they thought she tried to bring a gun through security. And in fact, it was just a bag of dildos.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hate to see it.
And
I mean, don't hate to see it. It's just like unfortunate for her.
They like swarmed it, and it was very funny. It was very funny. Anyways, I'll go next. I was going to be whiny a little bit with my asshole of the week because I've run into a few of these situations this week where you're trying to like pull out of like a driveway or like a business or something. Actually happened to me today when I was trying to leave my dentist, and it's Detroit Road in Avon. It's busy all the time. And there were a bunch of cars stopped at the red light, and this douchebag just pulls in front and stops in front of the driveway. Just like, boom, just like, And then he looks over, and it almost made me mad that he apologized. Like, almost like you have the audacity to apologize to me. He looked over and smiled like, oh, sorry. Shut up. What are you? All you had to do was stop early, and I could have turned out of here, and you just sat in front of me. Oh, sorry. But I'm gonna give my asshole. Oh my God, that's 2 very quick outs. That's 2 very quick outs for the.
There are 5 pitches right now. Do I get a sense of road rage from you, Michael?
It's not road rage. It's just it's assholery. It's just,
first the gas stations. You can't step inside and grab a lotto ticket.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. It's not what I said. You don't park your car at the pump. Not to pump your gas. Not to pump your gas.
They're walking in and grab a Gatorade.
You don't park your car at the pump if you're not pumping gas. Ever. For any reason.
So many people do that.
It's outrageous.
That's so debatable.
I don't care if you're pumping gas, go on inside, grab yourself some snacks, pee, do whatever you got to do. But if you're not pumping gas, you don't park your car across the parking lot. What are you doing? Anyways, my real asshole of the week, and this is going to sound weird too, but my asshole of the week is this weather is a bitch. It is still.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
It's like 80 degrees. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be like 84 degrees and sunny.
Okay, that's awesome.
Can we knock it off?
Shut your mouth.
It gave us this little taste. Oh, ball game. Cleveland Guardians beat the Detroit Tigers 4-0.
7 pitches?
Let's go.
No. Well, he struck out 2 guys, so definitely not 7 pitches. Yeah, right. The Cleveland Guardians within 4.5 games now. 4 games left against the Tigers. Scooble Bybee tomorrow. Oh, my God, I can't wait. Can't wait. Go Guards. Yeah, I'm a little mad at the weather, guys. I got to look. They gave us a taste of fall. They gave us a taste of football weather. A few weeks ago, it was like high in the 60s. All the windows were open in the house. Everything was great. And now it's 80-some degrees during the day. Get out of here. And it's every day. For the next 2 weeks, it's supposed to be like 80 every day.
And you said your asshole of the week wasn't going to be whiny?
Well, it's not whiny per se. It's just, I'm annoyed.
This is amazing. Like, are you kidding me?
No, it's not.
Like, as opposed to the fucking Satan's lair that we had all throughout July and August, this is awesome.
No, I want 60s. I do not want to see a temperature above 60s.
God, move to Minnesota.
No, I didn't know.
Go to Washington. It's 70.
Yeah, there you go.
I want Cleveland weather. It's the end of September. It's supposed to be like chilling out.
You know, it's still summertime until the 21st, 22nd.
Well, it's horseshit.
All right.
On the 25th.
I'm mad about it. It's my asshole of the week. You guys
mad as hell.
You guys
I don't take it anymore.
Accept it. Chad, what's your asshole of the week?
Mine's gonna be social media. I don't know why this latest incident, this Charlie Kirk incident has done it, because like I've always tried to avoid like topics like these because I just do, but man, this has really like opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I know I'm not getting off social media, but I'm telling you boys right now, if we did not have this show, this pod,
100%,
I think I would honestly be off Twitter and Instagram altogether. Like,
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think I still, if I cared enough to take the time to figure it out, I certainly would be off Facebook.
Yeah.
I would also be, I'm never on Instagram. I don't even know why I have it.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I have it. I don't like it. I don't enjoy, I don't scroll Instagram. I'm never on Instagram.
Yeah.
I probably would, Twitter is to me a very good source of news as long as you cultivate what you look at. All right. So I will always be on Twitter, but because I like Twitter, I will stand for Twitter. But I agree with you for the most part, Chad. Like, if it wasn't for this show, my Facebook account would have been deleted.
Yeah.
And we don't even it's not like a ton of people we don't do anything on Facebook for the show.
Right. Right.
That page just exists.
The only reason I wouldn't leave Facebook is because there's there's still people on there that I would want to like keep in touch with, like just know what they're up to. But like Twitter and Instagram, I would, especially Twitter, Twitter would be the first account I would delete if we didn't have the show.
Joey brings
Facebook
up
Marketplace is the only reason to keep the Facebook account. No other reason.
Do you know how much money I've made on Facebook Marketplace?
0.0.
No, a ton.
Yeah.
Of stuff that I would have just thrown away.
People will buy anything.
Oh my God. Oh, I've like box spring mattresses that somebody's coming to pick up tomorrow. All right.
My wife has like 40 reviews on her Facebook seller profile because she sells so much stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good one though, Chad. It's a good one. But just again, it's just the element of I don't know that there's anything that's contributed more to the era that we're in right now of you think we don't trust experts anymore. Just we'll find somebody online that agrees with what we say, and then that's the expert.
Yeah.
And then the era of just feeling like you can say whatever you want behind your anonymous profile, and it's just cool. And man, I got to tell you, as a parent, it's very much going to be a learning experience for my kids.
Yeah.
Of like, you think you can say shit on social media and get away with it? Everybody's watching you. It's always going to come back to you. Like
never goes away.
Never goes away.
And here's the thing. It's everyone. It's not like it's not specific to one group, one or the other. It is everyone. It's awful. It's awful. But yeah, that's my asshole of the week.
All right, those are our assholes of the week. Chef Brian K says that his wife says that he's the asshole of the week. I don't know, Chef Brian K, that we agree with that. We like you, man. And I don't know that I'd call you. Well, I think I'd call you an asshole the same way I call like Chad and Joe assholes. Like they're my friends.
Yeah.
And so they're assholes.
Hey, what up, asshole? I mean, unless you want to give us a story in the comments as to why you're an asshole, Chef Brian K.
We might have to talk to his wife. We might have to talk to Mrs. Chef Brian K to find out the real details. But all right, boys. Last half hour or so of the show, let's get into the other two big topics to talk about. One, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. guys, we're here, man. Listen, if this isn't a comfort zone, I don't know what is.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing we feel right now.
Although, to my surprise, I feel like I'm in a comfort zone with them at 0-2, but they have never been 0-2 under Kevin Stefanski. This is the first time they have ever been 0-2 under Kevin Stefanski, and here we are.
We're breaking new ground in suckitude, guys. That's awesome.
Just like with any loss, though, it's so frustrating, and I wish they just sucked. Like really sucked. They don't. They suck in areas, but like they don't like all the way suck. Like that defense looked phenomenal against the Ravens. The offense put them in bad positions. They gave up a lot of points. They got tired towards the end of the game. But that defense, the first half of that game was absolutely lights out. Myles Garrett's on a tear right now. And, it's just frustrating when, as we expected, the offense is just not connecting as they should. It's like a new level of hurt every year where it's just like, I wish they just weren't good, but like they are good and there's potential. It's just like a third of their team is really bad.
Yeah. Listen, I think if you put this game against the Ravens in a vacuum, I know we did the schedule game, and I think you guys picked them to beat the Ravens, but I think that was also just kind of funny because the Ravens were doing the Browns thing, and you thought, oh, let's pick against that. But I think the reality is not many people really thought the Browns were going into Baltimore and beating the Ravens. And then I think especially when you saw the Ravens lose by 1 to the Buffalo Bills the week before, it was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like it was this impending doom feeling. So in a vacuum, I'm not mad about the Browns losing to the Ravens. I picked them to lose that game. I thought they were going to lose. It hurts though, because you should still be 1-1. I would feel 100% different. Even if that game went exactly the way that it went, I would be sitting here justifying Hey, listen, that was Quinshon Judkins looks pretty good, and they made him the starter, and he hadn't even really hardly practiced.
Yeah.
And hey, Joe Flacco had a bad game, but Joe, it's not the level of concern as like a rookie having a bad game and being like, holy shit, is this how bad this guy is? Like, Joe Flacco can play football. I would be justifying. I'd be justifying, but then they gave that game away against the Bengals, a game they should have won, a game they played better than the Cincinnati Bengals, and now you have two games where defensively, again, you held Joe Burrow to like nothing in that game. You held Jamar Chase to nothing in that game. Even Chase Brown, who got off to, I think, a pretty good start in that game, you held him to nothing in that game. You held the Cincinnati Bengals offense to nothing. And then you go in to this Baltimore game, and defensively, did you even look at the stats, guys? Derrick Henry had 20-some yards rushing. The Baltimore Ravens carry. And here's the thing.
Oh, I know he was on my team.
If Derrick Henry, if you're like, in my opinion, normally if you're playing the Baltimore Ravens and you hold Derrick Henry to like 20-some yards rushing, I'm going to think in my head, I'm going to look at the stats and the box score, and Lamar Jackson went off for like 112 yards. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way the Ravens run the ball. And the Ravens ran for less than 50 yards as a team. Less than 50 yards as a team. So if you would have told me going into the game, just like the Bengals game, if you would have told me you were going to hold Joe Burrow to like 100 yards and Jamar Chase to nothing, and like nobody was going to go off offensively, I'd be like, you're winning that game. If you would have told me going into a Baltimore game that, they're not even going to run for 50 yards in that game, after Derrick Henry destroyed Buffalo in week 1, they're not even going to run for 100 yards, not even going to run for 50. I'm going to be like, oh, you got a chance to win that game. And it's not that they didn't. I mean, that first half, they were close. When you look at the final score and it's 41-7, you go, oh, blowout. No, it wasn't. It was 21-10, like late in the third quarter. Like it was, or 20-10. Yeah. It was a close game, but offensively, it just felt hopeless, didn't it? Hopeless. It felt hopeless.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Chad.
No, I was going to say, it feels like this is the way this is going to go the majority of the year. Guys, it's not like, there are some winnable games on the back end of this schedule, so we might end up winning those games, and I think we're going to see Dylan Gabriel by then, especially if this trend continues. But it feels like the majority of the season is going to go this way, and that is we're going to waste a lot of good defense. We're going to waste a lot of good defense. To me, this offensive line looks old. It looks weak. It looks like it. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller. Well, Wyatt Teller can still move a little bit, but it looks like they forgot how to execute this scheme, and they were only 1 year removed from it, right? So it was just unless this offense just makes some sort of dramatic turn. I feel like we're going to waste a lot of good defense this year, and then that combined with we're back to the lack of explosion, right? The lack of explosive plays in this offense. So it's just, but with that, and then I don't know, this line not being able to run or pass protect. I mean, I guess they can run block a little bit, but pass protect. If Joe Flacco is still back there, a guy who can't even really move, I think tortoises run faster than he does. It's a recipe for disaster, and I feel bad for this defense. My heart goes out to this defense because they're going to play their ass off every game.
But guys, that's what's frightening to me. The frightening thing to me is that was the beginning of last year. Everybody looks at last year and thinks that it was bad all year. No, it wasn't. The defense was so good to start the year last year. They were so good to start the year last year, and the offense just could not help them. And then by the time we got to like week 10, it was like, well, shit. We suck, and we're just going to keep sucking. And then the defense started to suck, and then the whole unit started to suck. And that scares the shit out of me because this defense is going to be good again this week against a really good team in the Packers. But this defense, I think they are well suited to play the Packers. I think they're well suited to play the Lions. I think they're well suited to play the Vikings and the Steelers. This defense is well suited to play a lot of teams. And if the offense gives you nothing and all of a sudden you're losing by 30 in the second half, and it's not because the defense stinks, it's because they've played the whole game. And the offense, like, again, think about the yards the Ravens got on special teams because of bad special teams. Think about Flacco fumbles, and it's a fumble return for a touchdown. The interception that gets returned to the 5. I think the Ravens had 2 scoring drives that were less than 30 yards because of where the offense gave them the ball, because of special teams or whatever. Like, I'm petrified that the defense is going to quit halfway through the year, especially at the time where you should start winning games. This 6-game stretch is going to be hard, but that back half of the year, you should start winning some games. And I'm afraid that they're going to be so demoralized when that happens that they're not going to win those games.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, outside of the Lions, the Bills, and I guess probably the Bengals again, but that's only if Joe Burrow is playing by then, which is highly doubtful. You don't face very many prolific offenses on this schedule. You don't. You just don't. So the defense is going to keep the Browns in a lot of these games. Again, if you can't find a way to get that offense going, if you can't find a way to score some points, yeah, I in a way, honestly, I kind of don't blame the defense for quitting. Well, I kind of don't. We're out here busting our asses.
If you're 1-7,
yeah. We're out here busting our asses, and we're most likely putting you guys in good positions. We're most likely giving you guys good field position. What more do you want them to do? You just, but I mean, obviously, they're professionals. They're going to take pride. They're going to play their asses off. They're going to want to be the number 1 defense in the NFL, right? I mean, I think that's a goal. That's a realistic goal you can look forward to. At least take some pride in the defense that you play. But this offense is just, I can't. This offense sucks. It just sucks.
You're muted, Joe.
Then he's, waddling for his life out there. And if he's waddling for his life and, tries to throw the ball, there's no separation in the receiver core. And, the quarterback change will coming. I think we all agreed on that before the season, hopefully later in the season. It's not like an immediate, flip of the switch thing here, but, the only thing you can do by interjecting a Dylan Gabriel now in this situation is at least allow the quarterback position to get some separation when the offensive line falters. So you at least have a chance. I don't know if that's going to turn into more production on offense, but it's, Joe Flacco just doesn't have a chance. There's just too much pressure in his face. There's not enough time for receivers to get separation. And it looks really bad. The running game's been, okay. Not great, but, I think we have a good dynamic core of backs right now with Quinshawn back. And, Dylan Sampson's looked really good. So, the weapons are there. It's just, it needs to come together and, just don't waste a good defense. Because
I wish they would just get rid of Jerome Ford. Just be done with it. No offense to Jerome Ford. He's had some big moments. But God, I would actually love the running back room of Quinshon Judkins and Dylan. I love Dylan Sampson, man. We can be as negative as we want about this 0-2 start, but all indications, guys, are that the Browns destroyed this NFL draft. I mean, the quarterbacks notwithstanding, because we don't know what they're going to turn into.
Mason Graham and Schlesinger, though.
Hey guys, we're not even. I feel like because they lost, we're not even talking about how good Mason Graham was in this game against Baltimore. Yeah. He was. There were drives where Mason Graham was the best defensive player on the field.
You can look at every single person on that defensive unit and point out something very well at it, outside of probably Miles Harden.
But think of this. Think of this for all the people that love to slam Andrew Berry with the draft, which I hate because I think he's been pretty decent. Look at this draft. Mason Graham. Carson Schlesinger has been awesome. By the way, JOK seeming to indicate that he may be back. Obviously not this year, but maybe next year. Oh God, don't get me going. If it's JOK and Schlesinger next year, oh my God.
Lethal.
Harold Fannin.
Hey, unreal. Hey, can JOK score points?
No, but
Yeah.
hey, listen, would you stop it? Would you stop it? I'm trying to say
Oh,
good
baby.
things. Harold Fannin, Judkins, and Sampson. That's a hell of a draft. And that's not even talking about maybe one of these quarterbacks can be halfway decent. Like, they've got a good start. Mason Graham was amazing in this game. But we're gonna have to see. First of all, let's look forward. And we got this game coming up against the Packers, the number 1 and number 2 defenses in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers have been excellent defensively, as you knew they would. Micah Parsons and that crew getting a lot of pressure on opposing teams, just like the Browns, getting a lot of pressure on opposing teams. It's actually funny when you look at statistically, the Browns and the Packers, they're very similar, to be honest with you. I looked at all the team stats. They're very similar. They're very similar on the Browns are actually very successful on third down this year. They're hitting at about 50% on third down, which is crazy to think about after what we've watched. The Packers are right there too. They are running the ball at virtually the same clip. The yardage, like a lot of what they're doing is the same clip. You want to know? I said this on the last show when I did my show with Fred on Inside the Browns Beat, and we had Kelsey Russo on from the Browns. You want to know a really interesting tweet about the Browns and the Packers, or a really interesting stat, about the Browns and the Packers? Joe Flacco has, through 2 games, thrown the ball 30 more times than Jordan Love has. That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco has thrown the ball more than 90 times in 2 games.
Yeah.
You can't win like that. You will not win that way. You might win a game here or there, but you're not going to win that way.
I hate to beat a dead horse, but that's not what the Stefanski system is. The Stefanski system is the zone read scheme and play action passing. That's it. That's right. That's like, when you boil it down to its brass tacks, guys. Let's get down to brass tacks. Yeah, it's a zone scheme running game, an outside zone running game, and it's play action passing. If hopefully Judkins can repeat the same performance, right? Like if they can get him going, I think this offense can take a dramatic turn. I do. I believe so. If not, it's going to be ugly. But that's the key cog in turning this offense around is getting that running game going.
Speaking of Judkins, really quick, fun stat: he touched the ball 13 times in the game. So he has touched the ball 13 times in his NFL career. And through 2 weeks, he's in the top 5 of broken tackles.
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Not bad. All right. So listen, I had the Browns going 1-1 through the first 2 weeks. They are now 0-2. That to me just says you're going to have to win a game you didn't think you were going to win. So here comes one of those games. I don't think a lot of people are. Nobody is going to pick the Browns to beat the Green Bay Packers. This week, a Packers team that has been a load. They destroyed the Detroit Lions in week 1, and then they came out and just kind of dominated the Washington Commanders last week, 2 playoff teams from last year, and the Packers made them look silly. Now they come to Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns are wearing, I have to say it. I'm sorry, guys. I have to say it. I'm so sorry. They're wearing the Alpha Dog uniforms brought to you by Dude Wipes. Alpha Dog uniforms sponsored by Dude Wipes. You have to say sponsored by Dude Wipes. Alpha Dog sponsored by Dude Wipes. Garage Beer is in no way affiliated by Dude Wipes. We do not recommend them unless they pay us money. So you hear us, Dude Wipes. But
great for wiping your ass, though. Boy.
They're going to be in the all Browns, which I said it would look really cool at night, but we don't have night games. So I guess they just, here you go. Here's a 1:00 game and you're all Browns. Browns Packers, Cleveland Browns Stadium, 2-0 Packers, 0-2 Browns. Guys, is this a game that they can win that you didn't think they were going to?
I think what I'm most excited about this game is to see this run defense. I think, the Packers are an elite running team with Josh Jacobs back there. Like, that is how they're kind of making their bread in the early part of the season. Their receiver core is like kind of weird, where they have just like a lot of okay guys.
Yep.
They don't really have a superstar. I think Jalen Reed's out. Maybe Jalen Reed. one of them. They're all the same. They're all interchangeable.
Yep, he got hurt.
Yeah, they're all kind of the same guys. So they have like Romeo Dobbs and Matthew Golden, I think, is their top two guys going into this game. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make a ton of noise against us through the air. I think the test is going to come on the ground. And if Mason Graham and Carl Schlesinger can show up with his defense.
Carlos.
What's his name?
Carson.
That's close.
Carl Schlesinger.
I usually don't do the first names.
Yeah, same.
But if they can show up, like this will be an interesting game, and I want to see the defense like own the run game. That's my goal for this game. I'm not going to put a win or loss on it. We will though, but that's what I want to see.
20-9 Packers win. I don't have faith in this offense at the moment. I think both defenses are going to be dominant in this game. I think this is going to be a matter of field position. I think it's going to be kind of an ugly, grimy type of game, and I think the Packers offense is just a little bit better than the Browns, and I think they're going to find like a couple of times they'll probably find themselves with some short fields, and I think it's 20-9 Packers win.
Joe, what was your prediction?
I think it's also going to be relatively low scoring. We'll do a 21-13 Packers.
Yeah, I think the Browns defense. I think the Packers are easier to defend than the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's the thing about playing in the AFC North, and you have to go up against the Ravens and the Bengals, and these are some of the hardest defenses to try to defend. I think the Baltimore Ravens offenses. I think the Baltimore Ravens offense is a harder offense to defend.
So dynamic.
Derrick Henry and Lamar, and Lamar's out here just chucking 4 touchdowns, but also getting the ball at the 5-yard line. I think the Browns are going to have an easier time defending the Green Bay Packers. There's no reason for me to anticipate Josh Jacobs goes off for any rushing yards when you just shut down Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and all that. I think the Packers are going to have a really, really hard time in Cleveland. The Packers are also not dynamic at wide receiver, like you said, Joe. They're not wide receiver dynamic. They're kind of big play guys, but that's kind of all they are. And the Browns are uniquely set up to defend that. Like this, everything the Packers want to do offensively, the Cleveland Browns are uniquely set up to defend. I want to say, yes, this is one of those games that they can win that nobody's going to give them credit for. That's what I want to do. I just can't. I can't. That Packers defense is so good.
Yeah.
So good. They're Browns good. The Packers defense is Browns good. And the Packers offense is better than the Browns offense. So I don't know that this is going to be a blowout. I'm more in line to say it's going to be like 17-14 Packers. But I can't pick. I want to pick it. I want to say that they're going to get this win that nobody thought they were going to win. I just don't know that I can. I don't know that I can pick this as the one to do it. I love Chef Brian K's prediction. 38-2 Browns. Shedeur Sanders gets sacked for a safety running backwards from the 50-yard line. Let's go. Listen, I won't be shocked if the Browns find a way to win this game. I know everybody will. Everybody will say they'll be shocked. I won't be, but I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to pick the Packers. And man, 0-3. It's going to be a tough pill. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow. It's Pat Shea, our buddy Pat Shea, says special teams will make or break us. You know the other thing, guys, and I want to get off the Browns because I want to talk about one more thing before we get out of here. But the other thing, guys, the Browns haven't turned over a team in 2 weeks. They had no turnovers against Cincinnati. They had no turnovers against the Baltimore Ravens. This is an extension of last year. You can't have your offense giving the ball away when your defense doesn't get it back for you. You have to turn the ball over at some points of games. I think between special teams, like Pat Shea says, and if they can find a way to turn over the Packers a little bit, and the Packers don't have an interception on the season so far, so it's not easy to do. But if they can find a way to turn over the Packers a little bit, they're going to give themselves a shot. But
hey,
in any case,
special teams. Hey, speaking of which, Andre Schmidt, nice bounce back game, pal.
Yeah, I agree. He did all right.
Let's go.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why you don't give up on rookie kickers after one bad game. When your favorite kicker of all time, Phil Dawson, was a 60% kicker his rookie year. Don't give up on rookie kickers.
That's right.
All right. It's all happening 1:00, Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, in the Alpha Dog uniforms, brought to you by Dude Wipes. Alpha Dog by Dude Wipes, but we don't Dude Wipes can cut me a check if they want real stuff. I wipe my butt with Charmin, and I won't wipe with Dude Wipes until they pay us money, and I think you should not do the same thing. But the Alpha Dog costumes brought to you by Dude Wipes happening at Huntington Bank Field, and we'll see how it goes. Boys, real quick, I want to spend just a few minutes talking. I never want to do these shows in the middle of the football season without talking about college football.
Let's go. Come on.
It's so good. It's so good. Let's start with the Ohio State Buckeyes. A good test, actually. That Ohio U team is good.
You got to give them their flowers, man. You really do.
I'm a little mad at the people. I'm a little mad at the people who are mad at the Buckeyes for not just dominating. Like, Ohio U beat West Virginia the week before. They were 2-0 coming into the game. West Virginia came out and beat Pitt the next week, right? Like, so that's a situation. Not that those are
a game I worked, by the way. That was fucking awesome.
And not that those are two really good teams, but like, that's a really good Ohio U team that every other team in the MAC is going to have problems with. And yeah, the game was close, but the Buckeyes pulled away and won. What was the final score? 37-9 or
37-9.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you take anything from that game?
No. I mean, you got to give
Bo Jackson.
You got to give OU credit, right? I mean, again, first week 1, they should have beaten Rutgers, right? They should have beaten Rutgers. Like just one. Yeah. OU was one third down, stupid third down penalty away from getting the ball back and having a chance to win that game. They come back, they beat West Virginia, who beats Pitt, and by the way, oh god, again, great atmosphere. Yeah, and they played well, right? I mean, it's not like OU completely shut down Ohio State or anything like that, right? They didn't like dominate Ohio State. It's not like the offense looked bad. They still got like almost 600 yards of total offense against OU.
Right.
OU just tightened up in the red zone, and they were able to hold them to field goals. That's it. I mean, that was really the story of why they didn't. This wasn't a 65-6 game, right? It was OU did a good job of tightening up in the red zone, holding Ohio State to field goals, and then the running game took over, and they ended up dominating them on the scoreboard. They dominated them in every facet of the game, except for they didn't get as many touchdowns as everybody expected. That's all. I don't take anything from it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I'm with you. Joe, did you turn the lights off? There he is. Hey, Joe's back. Lights are on. I'm the same. I think OU is going to be a very good group of 5 team.
Yeah.
And Ohio State beat them pretty handily, and I'm okay with it. Like, I don't know. I've watched enough Buckeyes teams that have won national championships when they had close games against teams that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
That one game doesn't matter as long as you win it.
That's it.
It doesn't matter unless you win it. And the Buckeyes, I think if anything, you're taking, in my opinion, you take Bo Jackson away from this game, right? Like,
yeah,
let's just make that guy, let's give him all the opportunities to be the running back because, whoa, he is electric.
Yeah.
And let the other guys be your, like, hey, you need 2 yards. This guy will go out and get you 2 yards. But let Bo Jackson be your dude.
Yeah. Also,
and I think you're going to be in good shape.
Also, we're not in the BCS era anymore. We don't need to worry about like how much you beat a team by, right? We don't need to worry about any sort of computers anymore, right? You just need to beat a team handily. And the Buckeyes did that. Yeah. I mean, obviously it wasn't 56-9, but 37-9 is still a pretty good wide margin, but OU is a good football team. So yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all.
All right. Real quickly, go back to baseball for a hot second. The Guardians, they get their win. They're 4.5 games back of Detroit. Boston, the A's. The A's had runners on the corners with no outs in the 10th inning. They didn't score a run, so Boston comes back and wins that game. They win 5-4. However, the Astros are going to beat the Rangers. It looks like they're up 5-2. the Seattle Mariners lose to the Kansas City Royals. Ooh. So the Astros, if the Astros win, the Astros will reclaim the lead in the AL West. The Mariners will fall into second place, and the Guardians will only be 2 games back of the Seattle Mariners for the wild card. So again, you told me that wasn't going to matter, Joe, but every loss for any of these wild card teams matters, especially if the Guardians are going to stay hot.
I want the crown, man. We're going to win the title. We're going to win the division. Give us the Central.
We all want it. We all want it. We all want it.
Yeah.
Boys, a couple other college football stories. The USF run is over, unfortunately. Yeah. Not to say they're not going to be good through the rest of their season, but their big test, they beat Florida. Who'd they beat in the first week?
Boise.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. They beat Boise, they beat Florida, and then they went to Miami, and Miami said, "Yeah, all right, okay, this was fun for you. I'm glad you had fun." But they slaughtered USF, so the USF run is done. How about Clemson, guys?
Whoa.
First of all, hey, Georgia Tech, I think is kind of good, but Clemson's not.
Hey, Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech's quarterback really well. What do you think of Haynes King?
He's in the right spot. He went to the exact right place. He would never have made it in Texas A&M because they don't run that kind of offense. But in that kind of offense where he only has to throw the ball when it's like a surprise, I'm throwing the ball. It's perfect for him. No, but like in fairness, it's a fit. It's a perfect fit. Haynes King is meant to be a Georgia Tech quarterback, and he's perfect there. And honestly, guys, I think we could be talking about Georgia Tech in the playoffs.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me, right? I mean, obviously they already have the win over Clemson, and I mean, if you're looking at the ACC as a whole, I mean, between Florida State, Clemson, and Georgia Tech, and Clemson is struggling mightily. They can't get anything going offensively, guys.
No,
anything. And they have an incumbent starter in Cade Klubnik, a guy who people are talking about the Heisman at the beginning of the year.
Yes,
and he looks pedestrian against teams like Georgia Tech and freaking who else? I mean, obviously LSU, has a really good defense, but who's I can't remember who their second game was against, but. And I think it was a nobody, but that was still a close game. They can't generate any offense right now. Actually, both Clemson and LSU can't really generate any offense.
Well, I was going to say transition to LSU for a minute because I do think after LSU beat Clemson week 1, people were like LSU on the map. And then LSU played Florida this week. And hey, listen, anytime you win an SEC game and you're in the SEC, it's a good win. But like they intercepted Florida's quarterback 5 times in that game.
Yeah.
And they won 20-10.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. If I was like covering LSU, I'd be like, I'm a little nervous about that. Like, you intercept a quarterback 5 times, you need to win that game. Like, you got to score more than 20 points.
Yeah. But don't ask Brian Kelly that. He'll go nuts on you. Hey, we won the game.
I know he was Brian Kelly.
That was hilarious. Did you see that? Reporters like, well, I'm just concerned why you can't run the ball. He's like, we did. Did you see the last play of the game?
Right.
Yeah. Yikes.
I'm just running through other stories. Texas. Arch Manning's getting booed at home against UTEP.
Oh boy. There's only 2 quarterbacks seeing ghosts right now in football. One's Arch Manning, the other one's JJ McCarthy. No hate on the injury. That's very unfortunate for JJ.
Yeah.
But like both those quarterbacks are seeing major ghosts in their respective positions right now.
Yeah. It's they look overwhelmed. They really do, and they look like they're a little hesitant, a little scared of the moment. And they look unprepared. So I'm Arch, can he still be good? Obviously, his last name is Manning, but he's Cooper's kid. Remember, he's in real estate, so he might not be that good. I mean, you still got to have faith that our Arch Manning can be a good college quarterback. JJ McCarthy, who knows? He's only a couple of games into his pro career. He could turn into something. He could turn into nothing. But right now, it hasn't been a good start for him.
I can't wait for the Texas A&M Oklahoma Red River rivalry game because those two quarterbacks couldn't look any different.
Yeah,
Arch is deer in the headlights. He is pensive. He is not unleashing. He's kind of like shrinking into himself. And then you have John Mateer in Oklahoma, who is actively going to lose Oklahoma probably 2 games this year. But he's also going to win them all the rest of the games.
Yeah,
that dude, I love watching him, and especially because he's not on my team, because I would hate watching him if he was on my team. That dude throws the ball no slower than 148 miles an hour every time he throws the ball. It does not matter whether you are 2 yards away from him or 100 yards down the field. He is just rearing back and launching footballs as hard as he can all the time.
Yeah,
we watched him. I was watching him because they were the early game against Temple. And oh my God, I love watching this dude. And I'm glad I don't root for him. This all brings me, I'm saving this for last. I spent my evening in South Bend, Indiana on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I spent guys, honestly, without being like the Texas A&M homer guy, I feel like I just watched one of the best football games I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, and I got to see it in person. Like Notre Dame, A&M. I went into that game. I think I told you guys this. I certainly told my buddy Derek, who was my cheer of the week last week because he hooked me up with a ticket. No expectations. And actually, I had a guy from Hudson sitting right in front of me in the stands, and he was a Notre Dame fan, and he was a little nervous about the game. I said, "Don't worry, dude." I said, "Are you a Cleveland fan?" He goes, "Yep, born and raised Cleveland fan." I said, "Cool. Texas A&M belongs in Cleveland. Like, it's why I feel so at home with them. We are a perfect Cleveland college. We always lose in any big moment. It just is what it is." And man, from the start of that game, first of all, big shout out to A&M fans. 40% of that stadium was A&M fans. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was wild. But also big shout out to the Notre Dame fans because they were classy as hell, man. I didn't hear anybody yelling at anybody about anything. They were just like, all right, cool. They're here. We're here. Let's have a time. Let's have a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
Notre Dame student section was awesome. Seeing a game in the bowl at Notre Dame Stadium was cool. I'd never been there before. It was cool.
Told you, man. Right? Wasn't it like that's just one of those venues where you're like you might not be a Notre Dame fan, but you just respect it because it's Notre fucking Dame.
We walked out. We wound up sitting in one of the end zones, but we walked out at like the 40-yard line just to see it, and I felt like Rudy's dad. Like, oh, yeah. This is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Man, remember that game started. A&M got the ball first. They had to punt. Notre Dame blocks the punt, returns it for a touchdown. Yeah. I win. I'm sitting there and go, well,
here we go.
I didn't come in with a lot of expectations, and here we go. And the game went on, and it was crazy. A&M took a lead into the half, which was unbelievable that they did that because it felt like Notre Dame dominated.
Yeah.
And then it was just big play after. It was these two teams threw haymakers all through the second half.
Just turned into the biggest back and forth game.
Notre Dame scores with a little over 2 minutes left, and they botched the extra point. And I'm telling you, I looked around. Everybody around us was Notre Dame. There was a lot of A&M fans, but a lot of Notre Dame fans, and they were all just standing there like. And I looked around like, holy shit, am I going to root for a team that is going to capitalize on this for once in my life? Normally, it's the Browns that botch a snap, and then the other team goes and scores a touchdown and kicks an extra point for the win. And that whole drive, I was like, there's no way they're going to capitalize on it. And then they get into like 3rd and 20, and I'm like, it's over. And then the most clear, obvious defensive holding happened. The fans were all booing. And the fans were all booing, and then it got shown on the Jumbotron, and all the fans were like, oh. A&M gets a first down. A&M gets a first down. Still, Notre Dame just stands tall, and A&M scores a touchdown on 4th down with 13 seconds left. And I got to tell you, I've never been more nervous for an extra point in my whole life. It's 40-40, and all A&M has to do is kick the extra point to win the game, and they do. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Did you miss the clear and obvious holding on that 4th down?
It was. Yep, it sure was. But you know what? Texas A&M got called, and I don't like to blame things on the refs, so take this for what it's worth. You got to play through missed calls and good calls and bad calls and all that. For sure. A&M did get called for 3 times more penalties than Notre Dame did in that game. And they did not commit 3 times more penalties.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Sorry your missed one came at the end, but
it happens. It happens. Okay. What an amazing game, man. It was a great game to watch. It's your quintessential back and forth big time college football game. It doesn't get any better than that, man. Yeah. I can't stress enough. I say it week in and week out how much I love college football. And that game was the quintessential reason why I love college football so much. It's hey, how cool was and then the traditions too, right? You can't beat out the traditions. Like, how cool was that? Here come the Irish. Here come the Irish. Notre Dame. And then
I hated that song. I was like, what is happening?
So fucking good.
The lamest thing I've ever heard.
Fucking good. And then shipping off to Boston, right after that.
The Notre Dame student section was cool. Here's the fun thing about Notre Dame. I almost feel like this with Ohio. I always feel like Ohio Stadium is much smaller when you're inside of it than they say it is.
Yeah.
But then you can tell there's just so many people there. Again, I'm used to going to Kyle Field and Death Valley at LSU and places that feel humongous.
Yeah.
Notre Dame seats like almost 90,000 people. It feels like it seats 40. Like,
right.
I looked around. I'm like, there's really that many people here? And yeah, there were. But no, it was cool. It was just, to be honest, when I hear the Notre Dame band playing the fight song, I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, in their stadium, it was cool. But in the end, A&M gets that win. And now on that side of things, and I don't want to make this an A&M conversation, but A&M has been really good at getting one big win every year and then losing to Missouri or some dumbass team,
which they will.
Yeah. That's what I'm nervous about. But if they play like that, they're going to beat a lot of teams, and we might be looking at playoffs there. Anyways, it was awesome. Just shout out to the whole experience. Shout out to the Aggies. Shout out to Notre Dame. It was a blast. It was an absolute blast. The 2 football games I've been to I came home and I told my wife, I'm like, I don't have to go to another game this year. I went to Ohio State, Texas, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame. I'm good. 2 of the best games. Just 2 of the best atmospheres I've ever been in.
Yeah,
were those 2 games. Awesome.
I'm gonna get to see John Mateer live in 2 weeks, boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm going to Norman. I'm working Oklahoma and Auburn.
Have fun in Norman.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold returns to Oklahoma.
Big games this week, real quick before we get out of here. Utah, Texas Tech. That's a big game.
It is a big game. Yeah, that's for sure.
2 ranked teams. Not a lot of big games. Auburn, Oklahoma.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Texas Tech, the most expensive roster in college football. No, I bet people didn't know that.
I hope you have your flight booked for Auburn, Oklahoma, because that game is this Saturday, Chad.
Wait, what?
Yep. You better get your flight booked, pal, because that game is in just a few days.
Whoa.
You go to that?
Is that the game you're working? Because it is Saturday, 9:20. Number 22, Auburn. Number 11, Oklahoma. 3:30 p.m. You better be ready to go.
All right.
It's like you're booking a flight.
Did I miss an email?
No, you might have.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Michigan plays Nebraska, whatever. Missouri, South Carolina is only going to be a fun game if South Carolina's quarterback is playing. Miami versus Florida doesn't matter because Florida's quarterback stinks. Are you good, Chad?
I don't don't know how I missed it.
Are you going to Oklahoma on Saturday?
Thank God you told me that, because I literally thought.
Thanks for joining the broadcast here at Auburn, Oklahoma. We'd like to go to the replay camera, but the guy didn't show up.
I don't know why I had it in my head. It was in 2 weeks. Whoops.
It's
been a week, guys. It's been a week.
Columbia Black River on Friday, and then you're leaving to go to Oklahoma.
It's been a week. It's been a week. If you can't tell, it's been a week.
So the big games this week, Indiana, Illinois is a big game. That should be a good one in the Big Ten.
Indiana's first test.
Auburn, Oklahoma is a big game. Texas Tech and Utah is a big game. That's kind of it. There's really no other big games.
Yeah, Buckeyes are off.
Yep, Buckeyes off. And then they come back. Who do they got next week? Is it Washington?
Washington.
I'm a little bummed. Yeah, next week.
The tickets are like $170.
Guys. Next week, though, college football.
Yeah, next week's the big one.
Oregon, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Washington, Auburn, Texas A&M, USC, Illinois. Big games happening next week. LSU, Ole Miss. Don't miss that one. That's a humongous game.
Yeah,
in the
big
SEC.
Time. Big slate next week. This was the other week, right? Like September 10th, like opening weekend was supposed to be a good slate, and then this was the other one.
Yes. So, all right, boys. Any last thoughts on college football before we get out of here?
Joe,
if you got to hook it to UW tickets, let me know.
Tickets are $170. Pay $170 and go to the game.
I probably will, but I don't want to.
That's not crazy. $170.
Not crazy?
No.
That's insane, dude.
That's actually really good for a college football game.
To go to an Ohio State Big Ten game, what? $170.
I mean, my wife's working that day, and I got nothing else to do, so I'm going to be going down there. I just want to get a little cheaper ticket.
There you go. Game time.
Game time's great.
I know the football.
Tick pick.
What?
TICK. Yep, I know it's tough. TICK. PICK. That is the best resale place ever. No ads, but that is the spot.
I know the tickets to Belmont football weren't super crazy expensive, Joe, but
they never lost.
They never did.
170 to go out. I'm a little jealous. Part of me wants to find a way to get out there, but I can't. Can't do it. All right. Let's wrap things up with our cheers of the week, where we call somebody out for being awesome. Chad, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'll go. I meant to do this last week, but I totally forgot. It slipped my mind. My cheers goes to the OU head football coach. I can't remember his name right now, but for watching film and closely and knowing that Caleb Downs and thinking Caleb Downs was a wide receiver.
Oh my God. I saw that quote.
He goes, Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs are two of the best receivers in the country. And no one corrected him. He kept going. He was like, man, the impact that they make.
Brian Smith, very standard name.
Brian Smith. Yeah, there you
go. I'll go. My cheer of the week is kind of a sad one, but it's one of my favorites, so I have to pay tribute to this. My cheer of the week goes out to Chimba. Chimba the cheetah.
Huh?
Chimba was the oldest living cheetah in captivity in the American Zoological Society in Cleveland.
All right.
And Chimba died. Chimba passed away yesterday due to complications of old age. But as a kid, as an adult who drags my kids to the zoo all the time because the zoo remains one of my favorite places on the planet, the cheetahs were always my favorite animals. And Chimba has been there since 2010. And I just got to give a shout out to Chimba the cheetah. Again, the oldest cheetah in captivity in the U.S. at any of the zoos. They had to put Chimba down. So I'm giving a shout out to Chimba the cheetah. Shout out to you, Chimba. I hope you run real fast and chase down some gazelles and shit in the next life. But you brought me joy. Chimba brought me joy, and I appreciate Chimba for it. So that's my cheer.
You think gazelles can get away from cheetahs in up there? That'd be
hell no. Cheetahs are the coolest. I want a cheetah.
They used to, was it cheetahs or leopards? I know in India they used to like have cheetahs as pets.
So the coolest thing about cheetahs, and this actually started in the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yeah.
And then it spread to the other big zoos. I don't know why Cleveland doesn't do it. Maybe it's because the cheetahs were old and they weren't trained for it. But the Cincinnati Zoo found that cheetahs need companions.
Yeah.
And the best companion for a cheetah is a golden retriever.
Oh,
so
yeah, I've seen those.
When you go to Cincinnati, when you go to San Diego, the San Diego Zoo, whatever, the golden retrievers just live in the pen with the cheetahs. And they they cuddle and hang out, and that's what they do. And cheetahs are super cool. So
that's awesome.
Not jaguars. Did you know jaguars have the strongest bite of any of the big cats?
Yeah, I knew that.
It's not them. Don't mess with them. You could probably like pet a cheetah and get away with it. Don't do that with a jaguar. Yeah. Joe, you get the last cheer of the week.
Yeah, probably my backyard, like the Pacific Northwest. I'm gonna cheers my vacation and family for the past week. The only thing missing was Michael and Patty on the trip, but it was a great time. Good to see everybody, and just literally, and cheers to the Tommy Bahamas beach chair that cradled my rear end for 30 plus hours.
Balls.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just completely turning the mind off and staring at the ocean. Man, happy place. Charleston's also like the shit. Like
it's my favorite.
There,
it's a great town.
Unreal.
Charleston, South Carolina is my favorite city.
We've had, and I lived in Nashville for 13 years. We had the best barbecue I've ever had in my life.
Nashville's not known for barbecue. Don't act like Nashville's known for barbecue.
But they have barbecue.
So does Cleveland.
So does virtually everywhere in America.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What are you talking about?
It's the best barbecue. And yeah, just incredible food, good times, good decompressing week. So cheers to the vacation and the fam.
Secondary cheers. Cheers, by the way, because you just kind of like triggered it for me there, Joe. I finally connected with my long lost nephew.
Oh, cool.
Robbie.
Cool.
Yeah. Exchanged numbers. We talked. Great dude. He lives in Charleston. So so hopefully we can get down there and go see him sometime. But yeah, great dude. Hey, if he can get us on the Ocean's course at Kiowa Island, that'd be great. He's apparently a caddy there. He's a caddy there.
Oh,
he caddied for Max Struess, he said a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So let's go, buddy.
I'll throw some follow-ups too. I had never heard of Breeze Airlines before. Holy shit, that was great.
It feels fake, but it's not.
Oh my God. They fly out of Akron. It was I put my wife and my daughter on a flight to come down to Charleston and hang out with you guys. Those tickets were like $70 a piece.
Yeah.
What a deal.
And the flights were nice. It wasn't like Spirit or like JetBlue where you feel like you're sitting on a folding chair. Like Katie was like, I had free Wi-Fi the whole time. Like everything was great. So shout out to them. And then, shout out to you guys and to my son, because that was the other coolest thing about the whole trip is that me and Patrick got to have our first like boys week of all time. And man, oh man, we had the best time ever. So shout out to that.
All right.
Good.
Nice. Heck yeah.
All right. So where are we at? The Cleveland Browns taking on the Green Bay Packers, 1:00 on Sunday in their all brown uniforms, brought to you by D-Wipes. The Ohio State Buckeyes are off this week, but college football going on, and the Cleveland Guardians are now 4.5 games behind the Detroit Tigers. 4 games left with Detroit, including tomorrow, Tanner Bybee versus Tarek Skubal. And now the Guardians 2.5 games out of the wild card. 2.5 games exactly behind both Boston and Seattle. So, man, the Guardians are hot. We talked a lot about them. And hopefully this time next week, we're going to have a lot of fun conversations about the Cleveland Guardians and the way that they continue to play. But shout out to those boys as well. That's going to do it for us. For episode 281 here, our last order of business, just give thank yous out. First thank you goes out to the OBR. Get over to the OBR.com and hit subscribe. It is the heyday of the OBR right now. It is Brown season. So make sure you are tuned into everything OBR as we continue to cover them both here on the streaming network on YouTube, Twitch, and all that. And over at the OBR.com, we appreciate you for joining there. Big thank you to everybody that joined us live here tonight. Pat Shea in the comments. Look at him saying, thanks, guys. Go Browns and guards. Yeah, for sure, Pat Shea. Big thank you to everybody that joined us, jumped in the comments tonight. If you weren't able to join us live, but you're listening to us later, big thank you to you as well, as we appreciate you joining us. That's going to do it for episode 281. For Joey out in Seattle, for Chad on the east side of Cleveland, I am Michael Keefe. We will see you next week for episode 282. But until then, cheers, everybody.